Good morning, millennials. Good morning, Luis D. Ortiz.
Good morning.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
We are so excited to have you here today. The Toasters are so excited that you're joining us. Everyone is such a big fan of yours, wants to know what you're up to, which we will get into all of the questions that everyone has for you. But in the meantime, welcome.
Thank you.
How are you enjoying your stay here so far?
Very much. I've been having a lot of fun. We've been here for about 30 minutes already. I've had 2 coffees.
Perfect.
I'm having conversations of the lifetime. I'm smiling. I'm happy.
Oh, that's so great. That's what we strive for here at the Morning Toast. So you are on we're on $1 Million Listing New York. Great show. Our where. And you left to just take a break, pursue your passions, travel, etc., like giving us major wanderlust on social media. How has that been for you? And now that you're back in New York, how is being back in New York?
I think it's, I think that sometimes we do something for so long that it becomes sort of a habit and slowly starts to come to define who we are. Mm-hmm. And it is very important to sometimes take a step back and ask yourself the question as, why am I doing what I once loved so much, and do I still love it as much as I did when I started it? Because I personally don't believe that you're in this life just to do one thing. I think you should be able to do as many things as possible, and to create wisdom and experience and things like that. And I think that after doing real estate for 12 years, I got to a point where I no longer knew if I liked it anymore. But I was good at it, I was doing great at it, and therefore I should be liking it, but I said no. And then I took a step back and I just went to Paris and left everything. In 1 month, I remember I decided I was leaving New York on February, and in March 1st, I was already in Paris with all my luggage, and I sold everything.
Oh my God, that's the hard part, is like the logistics of moving somewhere and selling everything and like hiring movers and then going to Paris.
Yeah, well, good thing for me, I didn't own that many things. I always like to be mobile because I moved once a year to a new apartment. In 12 years in New York, I had 11 apartments.
Holy shit.
Yes. I tried every single neighborhood you could possibly imagine. I started in Queens, and then I migrated to Midtown West, then I moved to Financial District, then Battery Park, then Chelsea, then Midtown East, then 42nd and 12th, which I don't know why was I there, but I was there. Then Paris, and now back downtown.
Okay, well, I'm actually moving, which is why selfishly I wanted you to come on the show, because I just want to get your pulse on all things New York real estate. So since you've actually lived in every single neighborhood, what was your favorite neighborhood?
I personally like downtown, south of 14th Street. I'm an artist by heart, and I like neighborhoods that are they're not necessarily defined by a society or by a specific perception. They're defined by what you really used to make them. Like, in downtown, like for example, Barry, I like it a lot because there's a lot of artists. There is a lot of like old New York. It has that sense of neighborhood where there's people that have businesses there for 60 years plus. And they're being, passed along by family members, and it just has that like quintessential New York, the one that I like. It's dirty a little bit.
Yes.
It's not too clean.
Well, if you go anywhere in New York these days, it's dirty, so
Yep.
You can find some of that. Well, I'm gonna get your tips for moving. We have so many viewer questions for you on a personal level, on a business level.
I am single.
And that you are single. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, we got that question a lot. You're single. That's good to know. Are you dating?
No.
Are you looking to date?
Always.
Are you on any apps?
I used to be on Tinder, but that doesn't work. It does not work. I think that after you do it for a while, it just becomes a habit, and you just scroll and scroll and scroll. And even if you actually match with someone, you just don't follow up.
Yeah, I think
You're married,
actually
I
been yes, I just got married, but I met my husband on an app.
Stop.
Plus, we like met at work, but we had matched on a dating app. So between the two, we got together.
Okay, explain that to me again.
So we matched on Hinge over the summer, like 4 years ago.
Hinge has been around that long?
Mm-hmm. Okay. And then 2 months later, I started a new job at the company that he was working at. And I
was
never...
that a coincidence?
No, yes.
Ah!
No, I never saw, we matched, but I never opened his message or anything just because I was busy and I just got a lot of messages. No, I'm kidding. So we started working together. We met one night at a company kickball game, and we were talking, and we actually had a lot of chemistry. And then he said to me, he was like, "Do you know that we matched on Hinge?" And I was like, "No, but I need to go die. Thank you. Goodbye." I was so embarrassed because I was already so awkward at work, and I was like, "And now I have a crush on this person."
So hold on. So you liked them without knowing that you've seen them before?
Yes, but he knew that like he knew that we had matched, but I didn't
Did
know.
you like him when you matched? Because you had to know that you matched at least at some point, even though you forgot about it afterwards.
Yeah. Then when I went back to his profile, I was like, oh, I remember this profile. Like he said, he worked at iHeartRadio.
So
and
love
he
at
looks
first
cute.
sight twice.
Yeah, I guess so. So anyways, if we hadn't been both on the dating app, I don't think that we would have like matched in real life because we wouldn't have like, he wouldn't have like flagged me, you know, or known that I was interested in him. We've actually been talking about dating apps a lot this week on the show. I think it's because 4 out of our 5 co-hosts this week are men. And you know what? I'm really enjoying it.
Yeah.
So anyways, if you are looking to date, I personally recommend Hinge.
Okay.
And then there's also, you know, the celebrity dating app that's like Fight Club, you know, first rule is you don't talk about Raya. So if you're on it, I'm sure you just can't tell me. I was never accepted into it, but it's fine now. It all worked out.
Oh, you can't say that you're on it if you are?
That's like the rule, I guess. I don't know.
Really? Well, okay. I didn't
Are
know.
you on it?
Yes.
Oh, good. I mean, good. What's the point of like being on Bravo if you're not going to be like on Raya to meet some fellow celebs? Have you met
What
anyone?
happened to like the old-fashioned good friend introducing you to someone who she thinks it's perfect for you, and then you actually meet her and she happens to be?
Well, I feel like that's everyone's dream. No one wants to think of themselves as someone who has to be on a dating app. You know,
Ronita, you've done a bad job. Ronita's right there in the
you've
background.
done a bad job.
Yeah, she's done a very bad job.
To my friends, you've made out with a few.
What?
He's made out with a few of her friends, but it hasn't gone past that. Honestly, the Toasters
That you
are
know.
a fine bunch, and so you'll probably get some DMs after this. Do you check your DMs?
Well, I haven't been on Instagram in a while.
Okay.
It's
you
my-
don't even like lurk?
No. I left Instagram and I temporarily disabled the account, so you don't have access to it.
Okay.
I just recently joined again because there is some information I had to pick up from a DM, and when you get back on Instagram, you have 7 days until you can disable it again. So now it's there, and then I see DMs, and there's a bunch of them, and then I just scroll through them, but I'm waiting for my 7th date so that I can get back out again.
Got it.
It's
Oh,
been
wow.
incredible, let me tell you.
Being off of Instagram?
Yes.
What have you done with all the time you have?
That is crazy that you have to ask this question in this world. Well, I'll tell you something. I think that, okay, so you have Instagram, right? And you have certain people that you follow, or whoever people you follow, and they happen to be the people that go on your feed. So in a way, your day and your perception of your life is defined by everything that you're seeing, the people that you're following, and whatever you're learning from those things, right? So imagine it, all of a sudden, that's the news that you see on a daily basis, and you stop. Then there's new things that are coming along that you're like, whoa, I wasn't paying attention to that, because my direction of what I have to pay attention on a daily basis is it's inspired or stimulated by the things that I follow. So all of a sudden, the world becomes so much bigger. At least that's the way I saw it. And imagine having that times, I've been out for like 6 months, 7 months.
Uh-huh.
And then
Wow.
you go back to like what it used to be
So
like
how
to
do
be
you,
alive.
so do you even want to go back now?
You know, I'm not saying, I don't have anything against it. I did it because I realized I needed to step away from it for a little bit. And then while I was away from it, I started to enjoy it and then realized that I was like more in touch with the things that were meaningful, and I was more present.
Yeah.
And I no longer took pictures for it.
Yeah.
I took pictures for myself, which was a different thing. When I was in Instagram, I was taking pictures thinking about something I was going to post on Instagram.
course.
And that's natural, that's
Yeah.
okay. But if you have a balance between both of them, I think it's actually very good. But I have to come back because you know, it's a great way to be in communication with, you know, with fans and with family members and friends
And also, it's like a big part of the real estate world today
Yes,
is social
yes.
media.
It's been for a while, actually.
Yeah.
Yes.
So like, it's work. For us, you know, I can say like I spend too much time on Instagram, but then I can also justify it as
But
work.
it is work, yeah,
Yeah.
it is. I mean, that's how people know you're here. That's how people actually follow what
Right.
you're doing on a day-to-day.
But there are definitely some days where it goes beyond work and it's
Mm-hmm.
just like an obsession.
Are you completely open on social media, or you keep it private?
Oh, I'm pretty,
Even though you're,
I'm pretty open about my life on social media, but it's like I don't.
did they
I
know that
don't-
you met your husband on Hinge?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Everyone knows that story at this point. And I think I've told it like 3 times this week alone.
Oh, nice.
So I think, but I think I do a pretty good job of like being very public, you know, showing like most of my life. But then like if I ever want to pull back, it's not so stark. Like where did she go? It's like
Okay.
I pretty much always have like an Instagram story, at least one. It's very rare when I don't, but I can be like watching TV and filming that, and it's not really like spotlight on me.
That's a good balance.
You know? So I feel like I do an okay job.
That's
you know?
good.
But I'm also just like a millennial woman, so You got to be in the game.
It's you know, it's you can't be against it. You have to join it. It's just the way of this. That's evolving.
Yeah.
You know, like when like our parents or grandparents say, you know what, society's being lost by this. This is just the way it is, whether you like it or not.
Right.
It's evolving, and you either have to understand the
you
language
either
or
change or you get left behind. So for any of the toasters out there who might be like thinking about sliding into your DMs, like what are you looking for? What's your type?
we're talking about relationships.
Yeah.
You know, I've learned that I don't have a type. I learned that I like to be surprised. I learned that I like mysteriousness and spontaneity. I still don't know how to pronounce that word properly.
Spontaneity.
Spontaneity. I've been into Indian women recently,
Okay.
you know.
Who's your celebrity crush?
I never knew how to answer that
I
question.
know, it's such a hard question.
I know. It's just perhaps there's not a celebrity that I am, like, there probably some woman that walks down the street and I'm like, whoa, she's my today crush. And I think about it. Have you ever dreamed of someone that you've never met and she becomes your crush? He becomes your crush?
Honestly, no.
It's happened to me.
That's
I've fallen in
crazy.
love with a woman that I haven't met, who I don't know what her face looks like, but I dream about her and I know about the way she makes me feel. So therefore, it tells me that I don't have a crush. I just have a liking
feeling
towards
that you're
someone.
looking for.
Yes.
That sounds like a movie. You should make it right after you're done with all the other things that you're doing. Anyways, without further ado, we are here to deliver the news that you need to know this morning. So here are the fast 5 stories that you need to know before you wake up and take a bite out of your morning toast.
Oh, that's toasters.
Yeah, it's a lot of different meanings of toast. So it's like morning toast, like avocado toast, however
Nice.
you like your toast with butter,
A
you
lot
said.
of butter.
But also, you know, if you're like trying to have a good time, it's a toast.
Oh, yes.
Like a cheers. I think that's actually how it originally started, but we'll just take any form of toast.
Whatever
we're
toast.
And yeah, we're getting toasted. Okay, speaking of getting
Love it.
toasted, Diana Ross celebrated her 75th birthday party and brought out almost
76?
75.
75, wow.
Brought out almost all of Hollywood who really dressed up for the occasion. And for that, I so appreciate this party because I just love when people get dressed up because I don't think people do it enough anymore.
They
you know?
don't. Why?
And they were telling me you used to only wear suits.
Yes.
And now you don't own any suits.
No.
So then what do you wear on a regular day? A tuxedo jacket and pants?
Well, this I wore for you, you know?
I appreciate it.
I said, I feel like looking
I
nice
wore
today.
my businesswoman heels for you.
Thank
I was
you.
like, these are shoes that a realtor would wear. Yeah?
I am not just a realtor.
No, I'm saying like, I was just stepping into real estate mode. I'm not saying you would wear these shoes. I'm saying you would respect a woman who wears a pump.
I respect any woman, and I respect any woman I would respect any person that would actually dress nice.
Right?
Although I haven't been dressed nice lately. I just don't want to dress up. I just like throw whatever.
I think it's the winter. It's almost over. During spring, everyone likes to dress up, you know, because everyone wants to all of a sudden go to happy hour and get drinks.
Yeah. I like your shoes, though.
Thank you, Ted
Very
Baker.
nice,
He's a
nice.
good guy. Diana Ross is still that diva who can get just about every single major celeb from multiple generations to show up in one iconic venue to celebrate her 75th birthday. The Motown legend finally hit the big 7-5 Tuesday with a blowout party at the Hollywood Palladium that featured an incredible who's who guest list. From family like her kids, Tracee Ellis Ross and Evan Ross, and Ashley Simpson, to Berry Gordy, Beyonce, Heidi Klum, Bette Midler, Stevie Wonder, Kris Jenner, Kourtney and Khloe Kardashian, Robin Thicke, Diddy and Chris Rock. Even Leo showed up, and while he was definitely the most underdressed dude, it was a classic Leo look. Honestly, this party looked so lit, and I'm just like jealous I wasn't there, but also excited for everyone who was.
Ashley Simpson is Jessica Simpson's sister?
Daughter-in-law.
Daughter-in-law? What was her
Ashley, her husband is Evan Ross. So
Okay.
Diana Ross, you know, who's obviously a legend,
Yeah,
is
of
also
course.
better known as Ashley Simpson's mother-in-law.
Oh my God, I live under a rock.
You do live under a rock.
Okay, Jessica Simpson used to have a sister.
Yes.
What's her name?
She has a sister, Ashley Simpson.
See, I'm
Yes,
not that bad.
okay, you know.
I used to have a crush on her when I was 15 years old. or
On
something.
Jessica Simpson?
On Ashley Simpson, when
oh,
she was like all
wow.
punk and like
Very-
you know,
and lip
savage.
syncing.
Yeah,
And
she was lip syncing. I didn't
On
care.
SNL, remember?
She was just sexy to me.
That is so crazy that you had a bigger crush on her than Jessica Simpson.
I know, cause I don't, you know, I'm
You
Puerto
like-
Rican. I like
You
things
liked
that
her
are-
emo.
I just like
punk.
edgy stuff.
Oh, she was the edgier
She was edgier,
sister.
yeah.
Well, now she's married to Diana Ross's son, and they're actually pretty cute. They have a show on E. I've never watched it. I don't know if they got a second season, so I don't know if it was a success. But it looked like they were having fun.
That's all that matters.
That's all that matters. So you're not so out of touch. Like,
No.
have you become, well, it's probably because you're not on Instagram that it's easier for you.
You lose a lot of touch on like things that are happening in the day-to-day.
But it's like, for us, it's of the utmost importance to know these things because that's our job. But at the end of the day, if you didn't know that Ashley Simpson is married to Evan Ross, like, you're still gonna be okay.
I just knew that I liked her.
And all you have to do is tune into this show like
Yes.
once a month,
And then okay,
at least.
done.
And you'll
I actually like
know
not
every-
knowing absolutely everything that's going on. It's kind of nice.
I'm sure it is. Because every once in a while, I'm like, I know too much. Then we go on vacation, and like, so much stuff happens in a week, and I feel like I don't know anything, and then I'm just like, back.
Does it feel like that for you when you go on vacation? And you,
Yeah, like sometimes I feel so out of touch if I'm not, because when we do the show, even if every day after the show I don't read up on everything, in the morning when I come to pick the stories, I'm forced to read through everything to pick the stories that we like, so I know what's going on.
okay.
You know?
What's going on in my life?
Ooh, you're a mystery. You're a mystery. You are. It's hard when you're not on social media, but because I've been in communication with your people, I think I know more than the average person.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just, you getting to know yourself,
Yes.
and it's an exciting time, and being back in New York.
Yep.
Okay, next story is very shook-worthy because the Kardashian season trailer was released. And I thought the trailer was already released, but then I watched this one and I was like, no, this is the trailer for some reason.
What was it released before?
Like a trailer, but this was like the dramatic version where they really go into Khloe, Jordan, and Tristan, which I am sure is some. Do you know what happened?
I do know about that.
You do?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Well, I don't know about that. I've been reading about it. I've
Oh,
seen
okay.
it.
Okay, that's like that's a good place to
Yes,
start.
yes.
Khloe Kardashian sobs over Tristan Thompson in Keeping Up with the Kardashians trailer. Quote, "He has no respect for me." The new season of Keeping Up with the Kardashians is almost here, and from the looks of a new trailer released today, it won't be short on drama. Though season 16 was mostly finished filming before the news of Jordan Woods and Tristan Thompson cheating scandal broke, it appears that the season will feature Khloe Kardashian and Thompson's first cheating scandal as a plotline. According to Bustle, the season officially wrapped after the Woods drama, but it's unclear how much will be included in the season. That's weird because according to the trailer, it looks like it's all about the Woods drama. So it's
Yep.
about a prior cheating scandal, in which case, how many were there? Why now? Why this cheating scandal? You ever see Legally Blonde?
I did. Well, no. Yes. I don't remember. I just remember.
You would remember
I just
if you
remember
did.
her. Okay, stop. Let me think of the name. Reese Witherspoon.
Yes.
Wow. I am so proud of
You're
myself.
an expert.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Expert status. But first, the cheating scandal should provide enough drama to last a season. In April 2018, just days before Khloe gave birth to True, photos and videos surfaced of Thompson getting close to other women, which was highly documented on the last season. So if this is what we're in store for, I am not interessant. But hopefully it's a little more salacious than that because it looks really crazy.
Mm-hmm. I never cheated on anyone.
Me neither.
Good.
Yeah. But like a lot of people have. A lot of people have been cheated on.
It's becoming like a. I mean, it's always been a thing, right?
I think so, but I think now with social media, it makes it easier for people.
For people.
You don't have to go to a bar to meet someone. Like someone slides into your DMs, and then you can, especially when you're famous, as I'm sure you know.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's all about communication, right? If you communicate, then there's no problem.
Yeah, hopefully. Have you met any of the Kardashians?
I have met Kim. I actually met Kim a couple of times. I met her first at NBC Upfront.
Right, because
we're sister networks.
Yes.
Bravo and E. And she was great. She's always been great. And then I showed her an apartment once. And she was also great, actually. Obviously, we wanted to keep everything very quiet, but paparazzis were all over the place. So they're already like setting up outside what we're showing.
Oh.
And then Frederick also showed her an apartment, I think. Actually, I think he showed more than 3 apartments.
Where was she looking? What neighborhood?
She was looking everywhere.
Did she have good taste?
Yes. They all of the families.
Their homes are very
Yes.
nice.
Yeah, they're very tastefully done. I think even I saw an article in Architectural Digest about
Kylie's.
Kylie's. And she's very tasteful when it comes to designing. I think it's great.
I think it's great too.
Yeah.
That's so true. And they're also like pretty feminine, but they keep it neutral as well.
Her mother, Chris, she has great taste as well. I saw a video on Architectural Digest. They've been posting, Architectural Digest has been doing a lot of articles on this girls.
I mean, I think it's good, and I think that means that they're very in tune because I feel like a lot of people, when they're decorating their houses now, they say, like, I want it to look like a Kardashian. They have a certain style, and that's really, like, what's popular right now. Like, if I were to, like, own and design a home, I would be like, I want Kardashian floors and Kardashian marble.
Wow.
You know?
What a brand, huh? These
Right?
women are crazy. I love it.
It's crazy. What's your style?
It changes a lot. I've changed a lot every once in a while. But right now, at the moment, I like my apartment. Before, I used to have dormant buildings with all the amenities. Right now, I live in a very old 1800 building with high ceilings, exposed brick walls, and very old columns right in the middle. And old wood floors that when you walk, you hear the crackles of it.
Oh, wow.
Painted in gray.
That's so cool.
And yeah, very industrial.
So much like character. You don't get that in like a doorman building where everything is like a shoebox.
Yes, well, because you have all these developers building fast buildings, and you just need to make as many apartments as possible in order to get much more money, and it's cheap construction too.
Right.
As opposed to like the old buildings where you have the facade with all the with all the crown moldings and all the beautiful architectural details and stuff like that.
There are so many buildings going. If you live in New York, then you already know. Like so many buildings going up, like in Chelsea, on the West Side. It's crazy out here. Do you think that is good for the industry?
Well, the market is not in a good place right now. There's a lot of inventory. There's not a lot of buyers. There's a lot of new tax laws being implemented on people that are buying secondary homes. That it's not even attractive for people moving to New York. There's it's a crazy market. So right now, and then these developers, they bought the land for so expensive that now they have to sell these apartments at a even higher more expensive price. And if people are not buying, then they're just keeping it there.
Yeah.
So
it's a tough time.
It's a tough time.
What did you think about Amazon coming to New York?
They're no longer.
I know. Were you for them coming or against?
I don't really have an opinion at the moment about it, but I think if it provides jobs, why not?
Yeah.
But I was looking at them as a client.
Yeah, you would have been selling a lot of apartments.
Yes, a lot of apartments, and even get on the commercial side because that's a big business too.
Yeah, very true. Okay, well, speaking of Bravo shows, Bravo announces a new show called Texicanas. Bravo is heading south with a twist. It's a cute name. Texicanas, the network's newest docuseries, follows 6 Mexican women in San Antonio, Texas, as they go about their daily lives. But in a unique twist, the show will be narrated from the perspective of one of the women, Penny. That's so interesting. Penny, who was born in the United States but spent her youth in Mexico, will be in the middle of the drama, and on top of the stripper pole in her living room, she and her husband, Raul, own a successful real estate company and share 2 sons.
Texas is booming for real estate.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And I've never been to San Antonio, have you?
Yes.
What's it like?
I was just there for one day. I went for a speaking engagement there, and I went on Tuesday, and it was very empty, so I just went to a bar and drank.
Fun. Was it like a real country vibe?
Yes, a little bit. Where I was, it wasn't that much, but people were dressed up like.
Oh, that's
yes.
cute. Well, originally, I think this show was originally intended to be Real Housewives of San Antonio, because they were filming it a while back, and I saw it in our Morning Toasters Facebook group where all the best gossip is. They had filmed the women at some restaurant or something, and I guess now they switched to not be Real Housewives, and it's called Texicanas, which is cute.
I like Texicanas even more.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
It like rolls off the tongue,
Yeah.
and I feel like as long as the show is
Texicana.
semi-decent, like people will want to watch.
And I
because
think
of this
people
name.
will start using that name. I'm a Texicana.
Yeah.
No, you're a Texicana? What's your type of women? Texicanas.
Texicanas, that's where it's
I
at.
like that.
Then they profile all the other women in the group, and I'm really just not interested. One of them is a perfectionist. I don't give a shit. But I will be watching the show, which premieres May 7th on Bravo.
Okay, we will be watching.
I will be watching. I always love a new show. I want Bravo and E to thrive.
That's very nice. I want Bravo and E to thrive.
You know?
I like Bravo. Bravo is a great network to be a part of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you like going on Watch What Happens Live?
Yes, I love Andy. I think he's great. And it's always fun. And it's at night. I do better at night than I do in the morning.
Sorry.
And no, it's all good.
How did you get involved in the show? Like, what was the casting process like?
Well, I started on season 2. And there was already someone on season 1, Michael Lurber, who was an agent there. And for some reason, he was not coming back on season 2. And so they were looking for a new cast member. And I think they already started the audition process. Since I'm not too in touch with what's happening in the world, especially in that world, I didn't know anything about it. And one day, I got a call from someone in LA saying that they just wanted to interview me. I think somebody was going through like real estate website pages and looking at agents that work for companies. And they saw a picture, and they saw my bio and saw my listings, and then they called me. I went audition for them, and I remember they told me, "I think you're too nice for this show." And when they said that, I said, I kind of want this. Like, what does that mean? I'm too nice for this show? Because they're looking for drama, you know?
Yeah.
And I thought I was not gonna get it. And then 2 weeks later, I get an email saying, we would like to meet you from LA. So the producers flew into LA, met me, and then I started shooting. And they never told me I was officially a cast member until like I just kept shooting and shooting.
That is so crazy. And do you ever think you would like do television?
Well, I wanted to be a film director when I was a kid. That's the reason I came to New York. And so I was always behind the camera.
Yeah.
And then I started enjoying and being comfortable in front of the camera. And then I found a way to be able to tell stories while being in front of the camera. So I kind of loved that.
Uh-huh.
And then I just discovered new things that I didn't before. And yes, so I love it. I think it's great, especially when you're being you, because you're exploring you, you're growing yourself, and then you're learning so much about you, the business.
Yes. So
nice.
do you still stay in touch with Frederick and Ryan?
I stay in touch with Frederick a lot. I know Ryan just had a baby. I haven't met his baby. Frederick's babies are amazing.
Oh, really?
Oh my God, they're so cute. His baby Mia, the girl, I'm in love with her.
Oh,
She's a
that's so
replica of
cute.
Frederick in a smaller version with, I was gonna say vagina, but it's just a girl.
Yeah, it's a girl. Have you met the new agent, Steve Gold?
Yes, I've met him. I met him in Paris. He went to Paris when they were filming there.
Mm-hmm.
He was there. I've also met him before that. We did a deal together, but we never actually met. We just did a deal over email.
Okay.
And he's
Good.
great.
He conducts good business?
Yes. He's very laid back, very
Mm-hmm.
relaxed, which is, I think, a style that, he's very recognized by it. People like him on the show. That's what I've heard. But he's a great guy, yeah.
Yeah, he's a cool dude. We've met him a bunch of times.
Yeah?
We're big fans.
What do you think?
I really like
Yeah?
him. Yeah, he's fun. But I think you're my new favorite.
Oh, thank you.
Okay.
My new favorites, I was never a favorite.
I never played favorites, but now that we're talking,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, you're my favorite. Okay, next up. Seth Rogen rolls out a new cannabis company, Houseplant. Seth Rogen is sure to have another hit on his hands with his newly launched Canadian cannabis company, Houseplant, which will not only sell recreational marijuana products, but hopes to educate users as well. Rogen and his filmmaking partner, Evan Goldberg, who have become kings of stoner comedy via movies like Pineapple Express, co-founded the company and on Wednesday, Rogen offered a sneak peek on Instagram with photos of a warehouse full of weed plants and printed packaging. The Houseplant website, which features a retro design inspired by VHS tapes, currently has one weed product for sale, a sativa...
What's the current product for sale?
A sativa strain with indica and hybrid strains coming soon. I don't know what that means. I guess it's
Sounds
just
great.
weed, yeah. The site also says that the company aims to educate users beyond safe and responsible use of cannabis products. Well, this seems like a match made in heaven.
Seth Rogen and cannabis?
Yeah.
Yes.
And now, in all of his
I love Seth
stoner
Rogen.
movies,
True.
he could be selling his own products.
Inside his movies.
Uh-huh.
That's true. I love him.
You do?
I think he's amazing. I've met him once, and he's exactly the same person you would see.
That's so
He's
great.
amazing, yeah.
I
Very
like him
smart,
too. I'm not so big, honestly, that movie Pineapple Express.
Yes.
I really didn't like it. I don't think I even finished it. I just thought it was so
What do you
dirty.
think of Superbad?
I like Superbad. I like most of his movies. So I don't know what the most recent ones were like.
The interview he did recently?
I love The Interview.
Yeah.
Did you see it?
Yes. Great
Even
movie.
though it was so crazy to see it, because then North Korea was going to come at your door.
Yeah.
That was a really crazy time.
That was a risky move, too.
Yeah. But anyways, this seems like it makes a lot of sense. And would you try it?
His stuff? Mm-hmm. Yes, of course.
Yeah, he seems to be the expert on the subject.
Yes, 100%. And I'm sure he'll do things that are actually very, funny oriented, things that will make you very happy.
Yeah,
And, creative and 100%.
totally. Good luck to him
Good luck to him.
with
Good
that.
luck, Seth Rogen.
Honestly, and it seems like a really good idea. Whoever his management is, this is a great
Yes.
commercial channel for him to go down.
He has a movie coming out now, right? A new movie coming out.
Yes, with Charlize Theron.
Yes.
And he's I think it's called The Candidate or something.
Something like that.
And it looks really good.
And it's his movie. He wrote it, right?
Oh, I guess he writes most of the movies that he's in.
Yes, and I think it's a bit more take on comedy, but a little bit more serious.
Agreed.
So Oscar worthy kind of.
Perhaps.
That would be great.
That would be great. It actually looks really good. I don't know if it's coming out in theaters or on Netflix. I can't keep up anymore.
Yeah, probably one of them too. But it's kind of the same because Netflix is already winning Oscars. So
Yeah, crazy.
Netflix is just as big as a buyer as its studio. So.
And Netflix is coming out with real estate shows. I just watched
Mm-hmm.
a trailer for Selling Sunset. Have you seen it?
No.
It's I didn't watch the show. I just watched the
Was
trailer.
it a real estate show about selling real estate in LA?
About selling real estate on Sunset, and then it's also about like the women who work in the office and the drama between them. It's like Vanderpump Rules for real estate. I don't know. It looks to be setting women back a few years, but it looks to be interesting. I don't know.
Why?
And the group is called the Oppenheimer Group. Do you know them?
Yes. I know the company.
Okay.
I
Any
don't know
thoughts?
yeah. I don't know. I don't know. But I'm
Okay.
sure if Netflix is doing something, I'm sure it's
Yeah,
great.
I'm sure I'll watch it eventually and
Yeah.
love it.
You know, what I like about Netflix is that it doesn't have, there's no limitations because, you're not affiliated with sponsors. It's just membership, so
Yeah.
you can actually go the extra mile.
That's like this show.
Like this show. Yeah.
Ooh, speaking of sponsors, we have a really fun one for you today. And Luis is a fan.
Which
Have
one?
you heard of Audible?
Yes.
With Audible, you get access to an unbeatable selection of audiobooks, including bestsellers, motivation, mysteries, thrillers, memoirs, and more. Audible has the largest selection of audiobooks on the planet, and now with Audible Originals, the selection has gotten even more custom with content made for members. So I love Audible because it relaxes me. Like, honestly, reading a book will always put me to sleep, but like listening to a book will just make me feel chill and informed.
Can you pick the voice?
Ooh, I think the voice is like built in, like if it's a memoir, you'll hear from the author, but they should have like like if you're listening to Harry Potter, like different, I'm sure
Yeah.
there's different voices with different accents.
I would work on that. Imagine. Well, if people want to hear the accent, but I would read somebody's book.
Oh, you could, I feel
Yeah.
like you have a nice voice.
Thank you.
That could be a next career path for you,
I would not be opposed to that.
doing books on tape.
Yeah.
Go to audible.com/TMT or text TMT to 500-500 and listen for a change. That's Audible, AUDIBLE.com/TMT. Honestly, I highly recommend. I had like such a terrible migraine yesterday. Do you ever get migraines?
No.
And I just needed anything to relax. So I like tried book on tape, which was like much better for me than watching TV.
What kind of voice was it?
It was a soothing voice, but honestly, all the books that I read are like celebrity tell-alls. So it's like so salacious. It's definitely not what I should be listening to, but it's better than TV, I think.
It is actually, because it leaves a little bit to your imagination, right? When somebody's telling you a story, you have to make your own pictures of it.
Yes, it's
within
almost
your
like
own.
a podcast, like this one. Okay, our fifth story is a bit of real estate news, and it's sad, and it's just sad for retail in general. Barneys is downsizing its signature Madison Avenue store, says sources. Barneys New York is looking to reduce its Manhattan footprint in a move that could shrink its flagship store by more than half, the Post has learned. The Luxe department store owner is in talks to give up as many as 5 of the 9 floors it occupies on Madison Avenue in an effort to reduce its hefty $30 million annual rent, sources said. If Barneys succeeds in shrinking its flagship store, it will be the latest in a long line of retailers pulling up stakes at Tony Manhattan addresses due to skyrocketing rents and changing shopping habits. Lord & Taylor shuttered its flagship store on Fifth Avenue at the beginning of the year, followed by closures by Henry Bendel and Tommy Hilfiger. Henry Bendel was like a death for me. Like, that one was a sad one. And it wasn't just like downsizing.
What's the sad part for you?
That it doesn't, first of all, I just love what they sold. I love the energy in the store. So it's not even that they made the store smaller, which they did a long time ago. It's that the store doesn't even exist. You can't even just walk in there and like experience it and like have that like hit of fun for a second. And there's no other store in the city that's really like it. Except it did really start to fall behind when they stopped selling like third-party clothes and accessories, and then they just only sold their own Henry Bendel line, which was less cute in a lot of instances. But like their signature stuff that's like the brown and white striped stuff was so cute. I just love the energy of the store. I don't think you get it anywhere else in the city.
I think a lot of stores are downsizing just to focus on on a smaller experience, in order for you to not even buy on the store, just to have the sense of what the brand represents, and then just go and buy it online. But it is nice to have a very big store where you can just go from floor to floor.
Or like, I feel like all the time I'll want to go shopping in store. I'll go to Bloomingdale's, I'll go to Saks, and then I remember why I shop online, because they don't have, like when you shop online, you have unlimited options. You have, if you like a certain designer, you can find every single piece from the collection. Whereas Bloomingdale's or Saks, like you have to trust the buyer of that store. You have to like their taste. And in a lot of instances, you don't. And they all have the same things. I mean, have you been down to Hudson Yards yet? Mm-hmm. I think that's really exciting for retail. I went to Neiman's, but again, it was just like the same shit I see at Saks.
Yeah.
But like, why go there when I can shop at Farfetch and literally shop from a boutique in Bulgaria?
I agree, actually.
Why would I
do
go to
agree.
Hudson Yards? Especially when it's on 12th Street Avenue, and I could just go to Bloomingdale's.
But Hudson Yards is more of a development, kind of like...
Yeah, they're trying to make it an experience, which I appreciate. But then I went to Neiman's, and then I met my friend for a drink at Milo's Wine Bar, and then I felt like I was drinking at a mall. Who wants to get drunk at the mall? I did, but I did do it. But it wasn't ideal.
Yeah,
and you know,
true.
I could have used like a little outdoor seating. I'm sure they're working on that. But anyways, I just think like retail, especially in New York, which is like the fashion capital of the world, I think it's really sad where we're headed.
Well, I mean, it's $30 million in rent.
That's wild. I thought they would own the land.
No, that would be, because the building is they lease the 8th floors, but I think they have offices on top, I believe.
Yeah.
I'm not sure, but they don't. They don't.
So
That's how McDonald's actually made their wealth in real estate.
I know. Did you see The Founder?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Great movie.
That's
I think
very
about
moving.
that all the time. I'm like, they're not selling burgers, they're selling real estate. Anyways, but so who's gonna come into that space at Barneys? Who can afford it?
That's a good question.
So then, say Barneys. I mean, Lord & Taylor is out, Bendel's is out, and I think a lot of other stores are struggling. What is the industry that's going to come in and be able to?
Well, I think what they'll do is they'll start shopping spaces and rent it to different entities, just for the location, to get higher rents but lower price per square foot. But lower price per square foot, which eventually will lead to more money to the landlord. But they'll have to restructure their whole system, because there's not one entity that would lease out that much space for that price.
Right.
People with mobility now and with the access to internet and just how everything is so flexible, people can work from home, people can work from Long Island City, people can work from anywhere. So
Yeah.
They don't need to be on Fifth Avenue like back in the day. Being on Fifth was a very prestigious thing. Now people rather be just in Hudson Yards, which is a little bit less expensive because it's new,
Yeah.
even though it's not that least expensive.
That makes sense, because I feel like now we're starting to see more of those sorts of like little communities coming up, like Hudson Yards. They have one at Pier 17, and then they have that one in One World Trade, where
And
it's
Lower
like,
East Side is also doing another one, Delancey.
you know, and it really is like they would probably vomit if they heard this, but it's like a mall. Mm-hmm. You know, I love a mall. Never wanted to get drunk
But
there.
New York,
but
I don't think New Yorkers like malls that much.
No, they don't. I'm a
They like
weird
this-
New Yorker
yeah.
who likes malls and country music. But most, like when I go to another state, I want to hit the mall.
Yeah. No, I can see that, but in New York, you kind of want to go into the store, hit the streets, store, hit the streets,
Yeah.
store, not just stay within,
Yeah.
right?
It'll be interesting to see where it goes and who can afford. I mean, it's not even a retail issue. It's everywhere. You walk up like First Avenue and everything is just out of business. Like the rent is too damn high. The taxes are too high. And like who can afford it?
Yeah, even in Soho, there's a lot of empty retail spaces.
It's so sad. That's not it's just sad that that's New York City, which is supposed to be like the greatest, most bustling city in the country.
But there's so, now people are migrating to other cities too. And there's a lot of incentives in other states that are making people go there.
But now New York is coming after people who leave New York. They want those taxes. I can't and I shan't with the taxes of the
shan't?
state. Yeah, I can't, I shan't. Sometimes I just went. Okay. Anyways, now thank you so much for helping me
Thank you
deliver
for
the fast time. I tried to make them as Louise friendly as possible.
What is Louise friendly as possible? Please tell
A
me.
little real estate, not too much Kardashian, but this is the morning toast, so I had to get it in there. A little biz news, a whole array, which is what I love to do because it can get tiring talking about the same thing over and over again. Okay.
It's fun.
And now I have a lot of viewer questions for you, and
Yes.
I would be remiss if.
That's a big rock.
Oh, thank you.
It's nice.
Thank you very much. I enjoy it. And I'm not a huge jewelry person, so it's like
Okay.
I just wear this one. Well, now I wear Mrs. W.
What is Mrs. Oh,
That's my new last name.
your new last
that
name?
I'm working on adapting. Yeah,
What's his last name?
Wine Reb,
Wine Rep? Where's that from?
Texas. I don't know. It's like
He's a
Jewish.
Texican? No,
he's
he's
a
not.
he's a Texan. I don't know about the can. Actually, I don't know. I have to check his 23andMe
There's
test.
problems at home tonight.
No, because he doesn't even know. If he knew, then I would know. But it's like no, I just have to go
Okay.
ask his mom. Okay, I'm gonna take some viewer questions for you? Because everyone really misses you on social media. And now I've gotten to a lot of like why you've stopped posting on Instagram. Why Paris when you moved?
I don't know why Paris. In fact, I've never been to Paris before I moved to Paris.
Did you just like throw a dart at the map? Mary Kate and Ashley style?
I've always been a romantic, and I've associated Paris with romance. Mm-hmm. I think a lot of people do because of movies and books. And, favorite writers always were inspired by Paris. Film directors that I like have been inspired by Paris. And just, I love French movies. I love French cinema very much. I love French wine. And I love French music and French culture. Mm-hmm. But I've never been there. I've loved everything about it that I've learned from books and movies and radio and everything in between. But I thought if I'm going to make this into a fantasy, might as well just go to Paris. And Paris is also so close by to all the European countries, and that I thought it was great headquarters to have.
Was it everything you thought it was going to be?
No, but it was everything I am. But I'm very grateful of everything that went down because of that. I've learned a lot about, I learned a lot about myself. I learned a lot about being in a place where nobody knew anything about you, where you knew nothing about the culture, really, even though you thought you did. You knew nothing about the language, and you have to just restart from the beginning. Mm-hmm. And that was challenging and beautiful at the same time.
Yeah, that's like some people's biggest fear.
Yes, because if I was so comfortable in New York, and I knew everybody in New York, and I was very comfortable with my business, and I was very, I felt like I was already safe. Going into a place was the opposite of of the place you left, almost the same as when I started in New York at 20 years old, but the difference is I was now 30. Mm-hmm. Was very challenging, and it was kind of like, should I go back to safety place? But then I said, no, I should just stay here and go at it again and rebuild myself from scratch. And it was fascinating, the things that I learned about myself by putting myself in that place. And it makes me almost want to do it again after I succeed once again. It makes you also prove to yourself that if you're able to do it once, you can do it as many times over.
So where would you go next?
Well, I came back to New York for now, because I realized one thing. Regardless of how beautiful the world is, to me, there is no place better than New York City. Hands down. There's a more efficient place, a more forward-thinking place, a more just exciting and full of mystery place than New York City. Regardless of me being here for 13, 14 years, I still haven't seen even more than 20% of it.
Do you think the city's changed a lot since you've been gone? Or it's always the same?
Real estate-wise, it has changed, aesthetically and in industry. The people have not changed as much, which is also very interesting. When you go to a place for 2 years and you have seen so much and things actually feel like you've been outside of New York for 30 years, and you come back and then you see the same people you left behind with their same mentality, their same problems, their same attitude, the same approach, it's kind of like, wow, I'm glad that I left, because the world has not moved that fast as you thought it was going to.
Yeah.
And it makes you almost think that had I not made that move, I would have probably stayed the same exact way. So it makes you also almost want to do this as often as possible. Mm-hmm. So it was a good perspective.
What's your favorite property that you've ever sold?
Well, I would attach the favorite property to a good story.
Okay. We love a good story.
Yeah, but because there's very expensive places that are not necessarily good stories. I once sold like a $20 million place over an Instagram post, and I didn't even met the owner.
Wow.
And it was just an easy transaction. And it was, as most people will be very proud of that. I'm proud of it because it took myself into a place where I was able to do that. But I sold a place that was owned by Jackson Pollock. Ooh. And it was a small studio. It was $1.2 million. And we ended up selling it for how much did we sell it for, Ronita? 146. Because that was Jackson Pollock's favorite number, 46. He used to put a lot of 46s in his paintings. And we found a little bit of paint inside the floor, like on top of the floors from like back in the day. It was also the place where Aaron Burr used to live before he got shot.
Oh my goodness.
Sorry, Jefferson, before he got shot by Aaron Burr.
That's so cool.
And yeah, there was a lot of history behind it, and it was fun. I've also had sex in an apartment once.
Just once?
Yes, just once with a client. she was the one that asked for it. This is true story, and it was 2008. I was just starting real estate. She never ended up renting the apartment.
Damn, she got you.
She got me.
So I think I know the answer to this question, but did you watch the show after you left?
Yes. After I left, no.
No.
Because in Paris they didn't air it, and I was just so focused on living a new life that I even stopped watching completely.
I figured.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you would have changed about like your journey on $1 Million Listing, or anything you would have done differently?
No. I think if there's anything that you would change about your life, you're somehow regretting anything about who you are at the moment.
Today, I totally agree.
And sometimes when you're going through the worst of times, you constantly thought and probably wish that you could have changed something. But if you're patient enough and you start to see the results of something so bad turning into something so beautiful, then you'll start saying, you know what, I'm glad that it happened. So I can say I'm glad that everything has happened.
Amen, my friend. What do you miss most about being on $1 Million Listing? What do you not miss at all?
I miss being able to document my story as it unfolds. In business and in personal, I try not to divide my life into two things, business and personal. I think that everything is just a blend of one life. And I love the fact of seeing how much I grew, seeing my fuck ups, seeing when I did something wrong and seeing it afterwards and learning from it and doing it better the next time. And I liked sharing it with the world. I thought it was a very fortunate thing to have. And not taking that for granted. Being able to share someone a place of vulnerability and places of strength and all of that, it's a very beautiful thing. And I will always miss that.
What don't you miss?
What do I miss? There's nothing that I don't miss. I miss everything about it. I just, I was not enjoying myself in the business anymore.
Yeah.
That's why I left the show.
But you weren't not enjoying the show.
Yes. In fact, that actually was the one that I enjoyed the most.
Oh, that's so good to know.
Yeah.
What's the craziest thing you've come across while giving a listing tour?
Sex toys in a fridge.
That is crazy.
Yes, you're opening the fridge, sub-zero refrigerator, and there's like a big frozen dildo right there next to a blueberry pack. And you're like, and she's like, can you open that again? I said, no. She says, please, okay. There he is.
That is so funny. Everyone wants to know about your hair. What products do you use, and how long does it take? That is so amazing.
I don't use a lot of products.
It looks not full of product.
I blow dry it when I come out of the shower, and then sometimes I use a little bit of wax, and then just like, that's it.
It's nice. You've got a
Thank
nice
you.
flow.
Thank you.
So a little bit of New York real estate. What do you think is the best, if you're buying an apartment, like the best part of town to buy in that will really hold its worth?
I think that real estate changes so much and society changes with it and the other way around that right now, I wouldn't necessarily, what location used to mean back then is not the same anymore because location used to be defined by the best restaurants and the highest society and things that were more promising. I think right now there is so many different pockets and not being close to some, and there's so many trends that finds different groups of societies that there's a pocket for everyone, and eventually everything it's becoming something good, with food and entertainment, and and social media that actually addresses new trends and celebrities that choose to be in specific places for specific reasons. I think that anything that has upside, it should be a good place to live. Being ahead of the trend, it's always. But Lower East Side, Alphabet City in New York, it's a great area. There's places like Texas. In Texas, it's booming a lot.
Yeah.
And with technology also.
Yeah. Everything's
changing.
changing.
Everything is changing so fast. Like Fifth Avenue, people are, Fifth Avenue is so expensive right now. I wouldn't live there.
You wouldn't?
I would not. It's to pay that much to be next to something that I don't necessarily spend that much time in. I don't know. It's not as young as I like it to be.
That's true. I have a question for you. So Frederick had a show with Bethany where they flipped apartments together, which was really cool. If you did a show like that, who would you want to do it with? Could be anyone.
She's saying me, Ronita.
That would be great.
I would do a show with Ronita any day, and Victoria, also Victoria, both.
And me. I'll
and
come
you.
too.
I would be surrounded by women all around because they make life much more interesting. It's incredible.
Do you watch any like design shows like Chip and Joanna Gaines?
No, but I like them. I like to watch them. I love design. I think design it actually helps create the perception of everything that it's not showing from the core part of it. I think design, it's just like dressing. You know, it actually stimulates the character of a place that is not necessarily showing it off the bat. Mm-hmm. And I love design. You know, if you see my every apartment that I've ever had, it always represents what my character of that time is.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would do a show about designing places around the world. I like to travel a lot.
You could do a travel show.
Travel show that's mixed with design and it's mixed with food, of course. I love food and wine and life.
This sounds like a great show.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should look into it.
Let's look
Okay,
into
one
it.
more question for you before I let you go.
Yes.
What is a piece of advice that you would give to an aspiring agent?
I think it's the same advice I would give to any inspiring person, to any inspirational venture. I think it's very important to focus on the things that you like. I know that it's been said many, many times over, but I think that's, you know, sometimes what we like today is not necessarily what we like tomorrow, and that's okay. It's the nature of human beings being curious and being ever-evolving species, right? I think it's so very important to ask yourself the question of what's the reason behind what you're doing on a daily basis, because those will change as well. And I think that we should not take ourselves too seriously. I think that we should not compare ourselves to the next door person. I think everybody has a certain speed as how they run in their own life. I think everybody has their own rhythm. And I think that the fact, you know, the more we compare ourselves to somebody else that perhaps seem more successful because the rest of the world seems to think that that person is more successful, the more we slow down on our own life. And I think that we are the own actors and our own characters in our own lives. And I think we should write it the way we want to. And we should not let outside influence dictate our speed and how our life should be unfolded. I think we should be inspired by it, but not let us dictate. And I think that we should enjoy every moment that we have in this world because we're very lucky to be a part of it.
That is very nice.
And I think that we should not be embarrassed about anything we do. We should always own absolutely every mistake that we make. And mistakes are also defined by whatever's not right, but who says that mistakes are not the other way around? I think we should just enjoy every minute and be grateful for it.
Well, thank you. That is such a nice note to end on. Also, someone came up with a really great idea for a show for you called $1 Million Vacation. Just something to think about. Also, Claudia is going to be on Daily Pop today. Claudia's my sister who usually sits in that seat. She's out in LA. She's going to be on Daily Pop. It starts at noon Eastern time. So once you tune off here, go tune
That's so
into
cool
that.
you're doing a show with your sister.
Oh my God, we love it. We just have the best time.
That's
and
amazing.
She's so funny. You'll have to meet. You would love her. She's literally hilarious. And so I'm so excited to watch her be hilarious today on Daily Pop. So head over to E! Now. Thank you so much, Luis.
Thank
Where
you
can
so
everyone
much.
follow you?
Luis D. Ortiz.
Okay.
That's my Instagram. I'm still actually there now because I have the 7-day period before I leave.
Oh, perfect.
Maybe you'll stay for a little bit.
You and your Instagram. And I feel like you have such exciting things coming up. Anything that you can tease or share with us?
I have a lot of projects. That's the reason I came back to New York. Nothing I can unfortunately share at the moment, but I have one of the biggest news in my personal life happening at the moment, and that I can't share. And I have also I'm working on television too, something coming up soon, and I can't share it either.
Well, we'll be staying tuned, very excited. We'll be following along on Instagram, whether or not you're posting.
In 3 months, I'll be able to share it.
Okay.
So stay tuned for 3 months.
That's nothing. We're a
That's
patient
nothing.
bunch over here. Anyways, thank you all for tuning in today. We'll be back tomorrow with Ben for our Friday episode. And it's going to be really fun. My final episode of my Jackie O Takeover week, which has been a lot of male energy. And you know what? I'm feeling it.
I'm feeling it.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
It's great to be here with you. Have a great day, everyone. Head over to E! Daily Pop.
Peace.